Shalom Aleichem, everyone. We're continuing here in Hachzek's learning of the Pele Yoetz. Today is day number 54, Erev Shabbos Kodesh, and we are in the chapter of Emes, of truth. V'ra'as ha-sheker hi, the evil of sheker, of falsehood. Hira be'inei Elokim v'adam, it is something that is evil in the eyes of Hashem and other people. Kimishu shakran, someone that is a shakran, he's known to be someone that is lying. You can't trust anything that comes out of his mouth. Who nivza v'nimas, he is shamed and he is really detestable in the eyes of people. Uganaya davar le'ein kol ad shavi lebumas ha'olam. And it's such a ganai, such a lowly thing for a person to be a shakran. Even in the eyes of the umas ha'olam, the nations of the world. Yeshin izhar ma'olah ames livrahim v'shalol adar b'sheker. There are many goyim that are out there. They're very particular to say the truth and not to tell a lie. Besides Goldilocks, who Rav Shimshon Pinchas points out over there how many Averas that little young lady was over, and that's what we're teaching our kids when we read these books to them. She's breaking and entering into the house that didn't belong to her. She ended up eating the food that didn't belong to her, and she slept in the bed that didn't even belong to her, and she sat in the chair that didn't belong to her. And then when she finally gets caught at the end, what does she do? She runs away from her responsibility and she goes off running away forever so that she never gets caught. So even in the non-Jewish world, says the Pele Yoetz, many people are trying carefully to be part of the world of Emes. Maybe not the politicians, maybe not all the fake news that we have in the world today, maybe a lot of things that we don't see the Emes. But at least in the days of the Pele Yoetz, and I think that you could find righteous Gentiles as well in our generation, people are trying to say words of truth because they know that that's what counts. And then he writes, saw a Jew that speaks sheker when it comes to business dealing, that he does with the non-Jews, he's creating a chil Hashem, a desecration of God's name. The goyim will say, everybody knows that this Jew over here, you can't trust him. He's a liar. Kazvan, he's tricky. Avlan, he does sins. And they'll speak many bad things about him, and they make a move. It's like a blemish in kachim in the holy things, which means that the Jew himself is kachim, is holy, and because of he now speaking sheker and all of that. So what ends up happening? He ends up creating a move, a great blemish, that the goyim of the world look the way that they look at him. And it's known the tremendous isser, the tremendous prohibition of chil Hashem, of desecrating God's name. How many terrible sins are drawn out of sheker. Like anyone that takes a look and they will see sheker will lead a person down the wrong direction and the wrong path. That is also the punishment of the badai, of the one that makes things up from his own, the person that is always crying wolf, as we will see. Even when he says the truth, nobody will listen to him. That's the whole story of the boy that cried wolf. He cried wolf so many times, and he was lying each and every single time. When finally the wolf came, nobody listened to what he has to say. He's a shakran. Nobody believes him anymore. If you get accustomed to saying words of sheker, no one is going to believe you. And then even when you're telling the truth, because every once in a while, even a shakran will tell the truth, but his believability and trust that people have in him, that's gone, and therefore no one is going to believe what it is that he has to say. Emes yisaid binyan. Emes is the foundation of the building. Like it says in the Midrash. Listen to this amazing story in the Midrash, which is so apropos for the month of Elul as we're preparing ourselves for the Yomim Neroyim. There once was a Rasha Gomer, completely wicked person. But then he accepted upon himself not to say words of sheker anymore. As a result of that, he did tshuva. Because he decides that he's not going to say sheker, suddenly he's doing tshuva. What is the pshat, says the Midrash? Because if this Rasha Gomor was going on his way to do a sin, he would think to himself, if people are going to ask me, what are you doing? What will I answer them? If I tell them the truth, I'm going to do a sin. I'm going to be shamed and embarrassed. And if I say sheker, so then I'll transgress what I accepted upon myself. I accepted upon myself. I'm not going to say sheker. And with this, he found himself no longer going in the way of the Rishayim, of the wicked, but he was not standing together with the Chatoim, with the sinners and the sinful things. Which means an amazing idea. Maybe we have to put this into our Avodah for the month of Elul. If a person will cling to Emes and stay away from Sheker, they will then be able to stay away from Chet as well. Because Emes, which is the Rebbeinu Shalom, which means I'm living my life according to Emes, I don't want to lie. So if I don't want to lie, so then I can't get myself in this situation where I'm going to get caught doing the wrong thing. What am I going to say to a person? If I tell the truth, I'm going to be ashamed and embarrassed. If I lie, I'm breaking my Kabbalah, what I accepted upon myself. And therefore, someone who clings to the Midah of Emes in the month of Elul, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and the like, so then they are someone that is living in a world of tshuva. And even if you be a Rasha Gomor, completely wicked person, you could always return and come back to Hashem. Well, if you go to minus Emes, Genus HaSheker, according to the greatness of Emes and the lowliness of Sheker, and all the evil that comes from Sheker, it is fitting for a person, a father and a mother, they should educate their children in the ways of the Midah of Emes, of truth. And they should see to it. They should be very makbid, very particular about the words of Emes v'chein yasu, and that's what they should do for their children. Children should grow up knowing that Emes is greater than anything. Even if a kid made a big mistake, but he tells the truth, he confesses a mistake, you have to celebrate that child because he is someone that's saying the Emes. V'yamad al mishma aleim shelo yimotza v'fiyam lashon tarmis. Be very diligent and particular over your children to make sure they don't have words of deceit. If they did something not appropriate, you should make sure that they will admit the truth of what they did wrong. And therefore the parents should be meichel them, they should forgive them at that time and not hit them as a result of them doing the wrong thing. Because they said the Emes, they confessed. But you can be mizarz them, you can inspire them and push them not to add on to this behavior. But if your child speaks sheker, then you have permission, says the Pele Yoetz, to give them a big whack in order that they should not say sheker anymore. Again, as we pointed out when we learned about chinuch, hitting and the like doesn't really go over so well in our generation. You have to find another sweeter way in which you'll be able to convince your children not to say sheker, prizes and money and treats and the like for saying the Emes, celebrating them when they say the Emes, dancing around the room with them, making them feel like $1 bazillion because they said the truth, even though it was so hard. That's the way that we're mechanech our children. The young deal meineim oven sheker. They should, in their eyes of the children, they should see that the sin of sheker is big. So that they will be afraid of saying the sheker, and they will guard themselves. Until it becomes their second nature, not to speak words of sheker, of falsehood anymore. And this is the paradigm example of the Jew. The Jew is someone that is always speaking Emes. You can't get him to speak sheker. In a court case, you can't get him to speak sheker. To the policeman, you cannot get him to speak sheker. To his own teacher and the like. He's always going to be telling the truth, and that's what a person is aiming for over here, says the Pele Yoetz. all the brachas, all the good, all the sturdiness of your life, it's all going to revolve around the Yesod HaBinyan, that you built your building, you built your house, you built your family, you built yourself on the midah of Emes, of truth. All the best.